The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
The Attitude Era is widely considered by many as the greatest product the WWE has ever had. Now, relive the entire journey with exclusive commentary, insights, and episodic discussion with head writer Vince Russo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Tuesday and this edition of Raw. What was it good for? March 9th, 1998. I'm here with Jeff Lane. Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, man.
Let's talk about this Raw, bro. March 9th, 1998.
They opened the show by letting everybody know they got an interview with Tyson tonight. They tease what havoc will Stone Cold Steve Austin bring. And then we'll see the next chapter in Kane and the Undertaker. So they're laying everything out for you before we even get to the show started of what you can expect for the show. So I like that. The show opens with a tag match between Farouk and The Rock against Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock. And a little bit of history here. Kevin Kelly announces that he wants it called the People's Elbow. So that's the first time that's mentioned. JR puts over that Stone Cold had an altercation with a WWF official at Buffalo Airport. And then we start to have some technical difficulties during the match with the screen going staticky. As the match goes on, the Nation jump in, causing a DQ. They start to whoop on Shamrock in the corner, but The Rock wants it. So he's pulling everybody back. I want to do it so he can start pounding on Shamrock. So Farouk is, all right, fine, you can have him. And he makes the rest of the Nation leave with him. So Rock starts, hitting Shamrock, but Shamrock reverses out of it, starts fighting it, and he starts whooping on The Rock, suplex. Outside the ring, puts an ankle lock on. D'Lo, Henry, they want to help, but Farouk won't let him. Rock is kind of just left out there to get destroyed by Shamrock.
And the big thing, Jeff, I have basically all those notes, but going into break, there's a camera backstage, planted on the door. The cameras all waiting for Stone Cold Steve Austin to show. Something that simple, bro. A 5-second shot that now, in my mind, okay, I'm going to channel surf. I don't want to watch the commercials, but I got to make sure I come back because Austin's coming. It's that simple. Like I said, if Vince McMahon or anybody there can explain to me the reason why there are no hooks going into commercials, I would absolutely just love to hear it. So go on with the next segment.
And also then they expand a little bit and they tell us we're going to find out from Tyson why he joined DX.
Right.
So next is Triple H and Chyna come to the ring. Triple H talks about Chyna getting in Owen Hart's head last week, and she may take it to a more physical level tonight if she wants to. Triple H says, Shawn Michaels can't be there tonight, so they show a replay of last week with Michaels hitting the Sweet Chin music on Stone Cold on the stage over and over, and they keep zooming in. It was kind of humorous. And then we have Shawn Michaels come up on the big screen. He's at a restaurant. He puts over everything from last week, puts over Tyson joining DX. He did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to give Austin the Sweet Chin music, and he did it. And then he kind of gets angry, starts cutting a real serious promo on Austin, guarantees he's going to walk out of WrestleMania as champion, and then Triple H goes to commentary.
Yeah, there are a couple of things I wrote on here. Bro, first of all, you know what pops me every time, Jeff? I swear to God, it's like it pops me every single time. During the DX entrance, when they have all that footage, cut, and there's the one scene where Shawn's in the tightest black shorts and JR's interviewing him. And he's jumping up, so the ween is at eye level with JR, and he's doing the sucking. So he's jumping up so he can get his wiener eye level with JR. I swear, bro, that I can watch that a million times, and that will absolutely pop me. Bro, I got a couple notes here. First of all, I swear to God, bro, if I had Hunter's hair back then, bro, I would have never cut that hair, whether I was an executive, whether I was a CEO, whether I owned the company, whether I ran the company. I gladly would have put the hair in a ponytail and put it, underneath my suit jacket. I would have never, ever cut my hair if I was Triple H. Bro, do you see, and you mentioned it, bro, you see the straightaway Shawn Michaels promo on Steve Austin? Every time, man, whether it's Taker or whether it's Austin, when it's time to get down to selling the match, I mean, Shawn's right there, right in their face. That's what I love about the guy. Bro, I don't know. Did you notice that when the promo was over and Triple H said suck it, they bleeped suck?
I remember this like it was a taped Raw, and there was a time where they, on all the taped Raws, they bleeped it if it was before 10 o'clock. That eventually stopped.
Bro, literally, I think there were 3 spots in this show where I laughed out loud at JR's comment. I mean, and I'll point them out as we go. But I mean, he just popped me. I laughed out loud. The one was here when he's saying, okay, there's cameras. We got cameras in the rear tonight. And Triple H turns around and goes, rear, what rear? Your rear? And JR just nonchalantly goes, oh, okay, so it's going to be this kind of a night. You know what I mean? Which, like, so nonchalantly. It was not written. It was off the top of his head. And then Triple H answered back, oh, if you want it to be. I mean, the way he just said that, okay, so it's going to be this kind of a night. It just popped me because it was just so JR. You know what I mean?
So while Triple H is on the commentary for Owen Hart wrestling Barry Windham for the European Championship, we get more technical difficulties with the screen during the match, and China does get physically involved, like Triple H said, and Owen's trying to climb back in the ring. So China hits him with a low blow as Jim Cornette has the referee distracted. So Owen crumbles outside the ring, gets counted out. Wyndham wins by count out. Owen retains his belt, and then Bradshaw hits the ring and goes after Wyndham to continue that story.
Yeah, Jeff, we definitely, it's a weak match with Hart and Wyndham. That's definitely why Triple H is out there. No doubt about that. Bro, I love the fact, again, let's talk about the bumpers, because the bumper here is, Mero, Goldust, Luna, and Sable are going to be handcuffed.
Yeah, and also in that segment, there was a line thrown in there that I thought, anyway, made perfect sense for what was going to happen later, is Sable getting assurance from the referee that he will have the key. Mero locks, the one handcuffed on her wrist, and she flips out.
And also, he did, once again, JR threw in there, Austin is expected any second.
So then we come back, and Jerry Lawler's backstage with Kane and Paul Bearer because Paul Bearer requested an interview, and he assured Lawler that Kane won't harm him. So Lawler starts to ask about The Undertaker coming back, and Paul Bearer says he doesn't want to talk about The Undertaker. He wants to talk about Vader. So they recap what Kane did to Vader, beating him at the pay-per-view, hitting him over the head with that wrench. And then we see a shot. Looked like something that was filmed that never aired because I don't remember seeing this, but it was Vader all bandaged up, looked like he was talking about what happened. Paul Bearer's making fun of him. And then we hear a noise. Paul Bearer thinks it's Lawler. Lawler's like, it's not me. So then the camera pans out, and then we hear the noise again, and we notice that the benches are coming up and down and rattling on their own, and Paul Bearer and Lawler is scared and run out of there, and Kane just stands there like he doesn't give a crap.
Bro, what was so classic in this scene? These are the scenes, Jeff, that I could watch over and over again because, knowing Paul Bearer, and, these are the nuances that you have to be a pro to. You realize what you're doing, and you realize people at home that get it are going to see this and they're going to pop for it. And this was so classic, bro, when Paul Bearer was blaming Lawler for doing the bench gimmick, and he told Lawler to move away. So when Lawler moved away now from the benches, Paul Bearer had to conduct the rest of the interview talking to Lawler behind Kane's back because Lawler moved out of position. So now you got Kane in the front. Paul Bearer is talking behind Kane's back so he could address Lawler. Bro, I popped huge. But bro, I swear to God, here's the funny thing. Like, I always talk a lot about Richie Curtis. Richie Curtis was like the special effects guy. Bro, when this scene ends with all those cabinets going up, I'm watching that. I'm like, how did they do that? How did he do that? Like, to this day, I have no clue how he was able to do that.
Next, we have a match. It's Agula with Taka Michinoku out ringside with him versus Brian Christopher, who's got Jerry Lawler with him. Kevin Kelly lets us know that he checked with the production truck and that what's happening is not technical difficulties. Everything is fine with the equipment. So as the match starts, the lights in the arena blink and we hear like thunder or some type of noise. It sounds like thunder. I laughed at this one spot, man. Like Lawler kicks Taka's ass outside the ring. Like the referee's watching it. Then Lawler throws Taka in the ring all beat up, and the ref's yelling at Taka to get out of the ring as he's sitting there like all beat up. Like, I just got a kick out of that. Like, I know you just got your ass kicked and you can't move, but get out of my ring. Lawler tripped Agula while he was climbing to the top rope. The ref saw it, and he calls for the DQ. DQ's Brian Christopher for the interference. So Brian Christopher powerbombs Agula after the match. And then Taka kicks Brian Christopher off the apron, and he falls onto Lawler. And as they're walking up the ramp leaving, the lights blink, and we hear the thunder noise again.
Jeff, you're going to appreciate this because as I'm watching this match, and this is kind of a throwaway match for them to get in the, the special effects and all the stuff that's happening. And, when the match is over, they basically said Austin's here. But here's what dawned on me while I'm watching this match, Jeff. Lawler gets DQ'd. Jeff, do you remember like 17 years ago, anybody giving a flying F if a match ended in a DQ? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did we even care? Did it even mean anything? It was all part of the story. Whether it ended in a DQ, the guy walked to the back, a count out, whatever it didn't. We didn't even think twice about. Bro, I don't even think the term clean finish was used back then. I mean, but isn't that unbelievable, bro? Like how I'm watching this finish, Lawler's being Lawler. He gets DQ'd when Christopher's in trouble. It makes sense storyline-wise. Today, bro, they'd be carrying on. Oh, they couldn't give us a clean finish. I mean, Jeff.
Yeah, I love that. I love the clean finish. It's like they want it to be a fair fake fight. I want this fake fight to be fair. I don't want anyone to interfere in this.
Bro, that's a great way of putting it, Jeff. They want it to be a fair fake fight. I never thought of it that way. That's tremendous, bro.
Austin's in the parking lot. We go to break. So there's your cliffhanger. You don't come back from commercial. Austin's here.
Right. So
Austin arrives, and he heads straight to the ring. And I thought this was cool that he didn't have his music because
I got the same thing. No music, organic. I got the same thing exactly, Jeff. Yep.
Yeah, because it sold the fact that he was taking the show hostage, that he wasn't supposed to be out there.
Right.
That's what So he says before he came into the building, he had already talked to the guys in the truck, and they know they're going to put this replay up. So he has them put up Vince saying Mike Tyson is unquestionably the best man on the planet, and he has him play that a few times. And Austin says that was an insult to him. So he grabs a chair, and he says he's not leaving the ring until Vince McMahon comes out. JR starts putting over that Austin's holding the show hostage. So Briscoe and Lanza come out, and they're trying to get Austin out of the ring. And Austin's like, you come in here. So they refuse. Briscoe's just like, forget this. And so he's leaving, and Austin tells him to get Vince. And then Slaughter comes out, kind of rinse and repeat. And I liked how Austin's using logic here. WrestleMania is around the corner. I'm in the main event. You're not firing me. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Go get Vince. So I love the shot of Vince hiding behind the curtain, like with Briscoe. I thought that was cool. This is when we see Vince with Briscoe, and he says he's not going out there. And this is where JR says, we got a hostage situation, folks, and we go to commercial. So we come back, and Pat Patterson is in security's out there, and I love that Austin was ripping on the old guy. After that, Austin threatens the security, so they're like, screw this, we're out of here, which Patterson got mad. Like, mad that security was leaving him out there. So he leaves. Finally, Vince McMahon comes out. And Vince, I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm going to go through this now, but I kind of thought, like, this is – you see the tide changing, because I felt like like, Vince is the babyface here, and Austin's the heel the way this promo's going. Vince isn't doing anything wrong. Austin is being a complete a-hole to this guy for something he said. You know, we're not at Vince McMahon, the asshole boss, yet. Like, Stone Cold is being a heel, like, classic heel in this promo, I thought, and the crowd is totally for Austin. And I think you see the shift in how wrestling changed during this promo. But Vince says that the baddest man on the planet is just a figure of speech. And then Austin flips the bird in his face and says, this is a figure of speech. How do you like it?
That was like, bro, just classic, man.
That was classic. And Vince, we get a great Vince facial expression, which I don't think anybody did facial expressions better than Vince McMahon. That was great. And then we start to plant a seed for future episodes coming up in the future storyline. And Austin's like, you don't want to see me as the WWF champ, do you? And Vince ignores the question. He won't answer it, which is great for what's coming down the road for those that remember. But this is kind of starting that thread. And you see Vince getting mad. He's getting irritated. And Austin's like, you don't want to see me as WWF champ. I wanted to hear it. So Vince says he's had enough of this. Austin says that Vince has insulted him for the last time, and he's trying to get him to hit him. I'll let you hit me first, because when I hit you, you're not going to get up. I mean, complete bullying this guy. I mean, like, the character of Austin is bullying the character of Vince McMahon here. And then he rips his jacket. Austin says, same thing, you're not going to fire me. I'll give you 10 seconds to hit me or get your coward ass up the ring, or whatever his line was. So Austin counts to 10. Vince doesn't hit him. Vince leaves. I loved this shot. As soon as Austin turned his head, Vince called him a son of a bitch, and Austin didn't see it. You know what I mean? I thought that was great.
Jeff, I love the way you pick up those things and notice those things, because you know what it was too, bro. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, obviously I don't remember this from 18, but I'm standing there and I'm saying to myself, knowing Vince's ego, there's no way in the world Vince leaves without getting the last word in. I know that because I know Vince. That's person Vince. That's not character Vince. So I'm like, his ego will not allow him to not get the last word in. And it's exactly what you said, bro. The minute Austin turned his back, Vince, that was just classic, bro. Classic.
Yep. Austin shifts his attention to Triple H. And while he's starting this promo, Vince is still mouthing at him. And Austin sees this, and he pretty much tells him to shut up and get out of here. So he says Triple H is going to be in the ring tonight with Austin. With Michaels not there, that puts Triple H in the wrong place at the wrong time. And as soon as Triple H gets in the ring, Austin's going to be there to kick his ass like this. And, he's kicking the ropes, pretending they're Triple H. And he says the next time Michaels does show up, he's not going to ask him to lay down. He's going to knock him down until he doesn't get up, because that was the thing that Michael said in his promo earlier, and he said it last week. He doesn't lay down for nobody. That's been his line leading up to this match.
But isn't that unbelievable, bro, how Austin's paying attention to that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? And the writers, too. I mean, I can't remember if I wrote that for him or not. Either way, it doesn't matter. The fact that we followed up on something Sean said, you don't ever see that today, bro. This was definitely, bro, this was historic, because this was the first McMahon-Austin. No doubt about it. This is it. This is where it all started right here. But you forgot 2 words that only Austin could say that just popped me huge during the course of and I don't even remember who he called it to. Bro, he called somebody a "you yellow bastard." Only Austin could say it, bro. And I just wrote down those words. That was the only difference that you and I had in looking at that entire segment. I popped with the yellow bastard line, bro. Because they'd get bleeped today, right, bro? They bleed like pigs on Sunday night. If somebody curses on Monday, it's going to get bleeped.
We kind of go to a catch your breath moment, the Quebecers, and Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie. For my taste, I thought the match went long, but the lights go out again at the start of the match, and this time the screen goes completely fuzzy during the match and then comes back on. The Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie end up getting the win. I cracked up. They show this fan cheering, and Lawler's like, sit down, you idiot. Like, the guy can even hear him, you know what I mean? Like, That stuff just cracks me up. So after the match, Road Dogg comes out. He's got a sling on, because he said they messed up his shoulder last week. And he taunts Cactus and gets him to come after him on the ramp, which is a setup as Outlaw's nature. And Billy Gunn comes through the crowd and hits Chainsaw Charlie, Terry Funk, with a chair from behind. So Paul Bearer, he's cutting a promo, and he's frustrated. And you can see that where instead of talking crap, he's kind of turned his emotions to, now I'm angry because he came back and he's messing with what I got going on here. And you can tell he's getting frustrated. But, he's talking about how The Undertaker made a mistake coming back. The Undertaker thinks this is a game. This is not a game. The bell tolls. The lights go off. They come back on. Undertaker is in the ring. They go back out, come back on again, and he's gone. It infuriates Bear anymore, and he's like, this is not a game. This is not a game. At WrestleMania, you will wrestle Kane to the finish, and you're going to go to the dark side and never return. So I thought that was cool, man.
The match is made right there, Jeff, right? That's where the match is made, right?
Yeah. They don't specifically tell you this, but, I mean, you're led to imply all these difficulties was the Undertaker screwing around with everything. Then we get this funny thing. It's funny because, Raw's on a Tuesday next week. Like, USA just man, you guys must have been irritated back then.
Yeah, can you imagine, bro, as hot as this thing is getting? It must have been the dog show, right? What's funny now is in this day and age, the dog show would probably do higher ratings than Raw. Seriously. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I'm being dead serious. Then we go to the Goldust Mero match, and it's Sable and Luna handcuffed to the ring. So Goldust handcuffs Luna himself to the ring post. She's doing all this creepy stuff, licking the cuffs and stuff. The referee handcuffs Sable because she doesn't want Mero to do it. The ref ends up getting knocked down in the corner. Goldust hits his curtain call finish on Mero and then leg drops the referee to make sure he stays down. So then he steals the key from the ref's pocket that we knew was there from beforehand because Sable had put that over in the back. So then he teases Sable, and I love Sable was trying to use her sexiness to get Goldust to come unlock her, and it didn't work. Goldust didn't care, you know what I mean? Which, knowing that character, that's not going to work on him, you know what I mean? So then he unlocks Luna, who viciously is grabbing Sable. This is done really well, I thought. Grabbing Sable from behind. It looked really stiff. And she's drawn makeup all over her face to make her look like a freak. And then they get a drink, and they throw a drink in her face. Pat Patterson comes down and unlocks Sable. She chases off after Luna. So Goldust and Luna take off, and then referees come out, and the referees and Mark Mero hold Sable back. Yeah, I got a couple. There was some great lines in this match that I want to do. But, Goldust handcuff. When Luna's licking the chain, JR just says, my mama just probably fainted, which I popped out. And then JR follows that up with, if looks could kill, Luna would be in a morgue, which I thought was tremendous. Then we do the ref bump, blah, blah, blah. They do the makeup spot, and Lawler had the line that, she looks like Tammy Faye Baker, which popped me huge. But, bro, I have to put this over here and listen. Everybody is going to say I play favorites and everything. But, bro, what about Sable's acting? Yeah. I mean, bro, if you knew how sweet she was in the back and you saw this, oh, my God, bro. I mean, do you ever see, anybody get that upset today? I mean, holy crap, bro. She was. I mean, that's why it's almost like, Mero's reacting to her like he's afraid, like it's almost a shoot. I mean, she is wild. We come back. JR asks Goldust and Luna what they were thinking, and Goldust says he's tired of holding Luna back when in reality she needs to get a hold of Sable. So they make a challenge for a mixed tag match at WrestleMania, Goldust and Luna versus Mero and Sable. Well, again, very important here, Jeff. Did you notice Luna repeated, I said what I was going to do, and I did it. In last week's promo, she told Sable exactly what she was going to do, and they did it. Bro, I say that because, in this case, it's almost so insignificant. This isn't a big, bro, how many times do you see something major happen on Raw and something big, and it's never followed through? Here's Luna. She said something the week before. She does it the following week and then says, I told you I was going to do it and I did it. That's detail. I mean, that's literally dotting the I's and crossing the T's, man. I mean, that's storytelling, bro. It really is, Yep. Next, we get a video recap of everything Tyson's done since he's come to the WWF. We see, from the Royal Rumble to his first appearances on Raw to join the DX. So then JR sitting down with Tyson. JR asks him how can he be fair at WrestleMania?
given his association with Shawn Michaels. And Tyson gets PO'd, and he says, "Do you think Mike Tyson's been treated fair? Get with the program. Fair is winning." And he walks off. I thought this was kind of odd. We go to a main event that nobody has said a word about. I mean, we get Austin said Triple H was going to be in the ring, but it's Savio Vega versus Triple H, which there's no match, so I get why that wasn't promoted. But I just still thought that was interesting. We got the Los Boricuas and security at ringside. The match goes on for maybe 20 seconds. So then Austin, of course, comes out, stuns Briscoe, stuns a referee, stuns Savio Vega, and then here comes Shawn Michaels. There's your swerve. Shawn Michaels is not in the building. Well, yes, he is. Shawn Michaels sneaks in and hits Austin again with the sweet chin music, gets the upper hand going off the air again with the babyface, and Triple H is holding Austin, and Michaels swings back the chair like he's going to clobber Austin, and we go off the air with a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff, come on. Could you have gone off the air any hotter than that? And, bro, there's a part of me sitting here saying now, while I look at this, why didn't we put Triple H in there with a big name guy, and promote the match? It was never going to take place anyway. Why didn't we do that? But now, again, bro, it goes back to the story writing. The story writing is so well done. It doesn't matter who was in the ring at the end. It didn't matter. The whole idea is Austin said, when you're out here, I'm going to be out here. And you believed it. I mean, there's no way in hell Austin was not going to get in the ring. So, bro, you could have had me in there. It didn't matter. So, I mean, that's why it wasn't a Triple H versus a Vader. That's why it wasn't a big, because it didn't matter. But again, bro, that was all in the freaking storytelling. Where were you going to go? And Jeff, if you notice, I kept looking at the time. Bro, that was like the last 90 seconds of the show. So you want to talk about hooking people to the very, 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 very end and then ending it hotter. That chair was in motion and boom, we're off the air. Did he hit him with it? Did he not hit him with it? I mean, we never saw it. I just, again, Jeff, it just goes back to, with me, with all the excuses in the world, why can't that be repeated today?